Yeah, so in some pathways, uh, especially in the fourth way tradition, Gurdjieff-Ouspensky work, and this effort or practice of witnessing and observing ourselves from moment to moment, this was considered to be the most important thing. And it's like that an engine that needs to be constantly kept on, because without which everything stops. So sometimes I realize that I don't talk about it, so it might not be might not come across how essential it is. Yeah, and actually I should talk more about it. So besides this, a daily meditation practice, like if you're serious on healing or deprogramming or awakening or spiritual growth, a daily meditation is a prerequisite, I would say. You are fooling yourself if you're not doing that to some degree, at least for some time. So that, because why? We put our money where the mouth is. You are interested in the truth, in the consciousness. So then give some time to sit with ourselves, to just sit with yourself a little bit instead of being busy, you know? So daily meditation, that's important. However, this, what I don't talk enough is this ongoing mode of observing oneself, of being present to what's happening now, while being in a dynamic activity. So as we walk, as we talk to people, to be aware of our reactions, to be aware of our thoughts, to try to be as conscious as possible, and be as authentic as possible, and to be impeccable with the word and not make assumptions. So be open, to not make stories. Okay, when we drive or walk or do the dishes or go to the bathroom, to not be checked out in the past and future, to be present. Somehow this meditative stance of presence, of living in the now. Yeah, so they call this in the fourth way self-remembering, which would be, depending of where we are, it has many different meanings and levels. So from some higher level would be that self-remembering means that consciousness is aware of itself. What we are is aware of its own existence. Consciousness is aware of being. And in this state, consciousness is aware of the feelings and of the sounds and of the body sensation. And yeah, so being conscious of what is, being conscious of being conscious. So that will be a higher level of self-remembering. And also the realization that everything is consciousness. Everything is conscious. Everything is conscious. Now, at a more entry level, just this realizing that I've been daydreaming for the last 17 minutes and just waking up, coming to the present. Instead of being in thinking and doing, coming to the present, seeing, feeling. So instead of being without attention, to have attention in the present moment. We can't go to being checked out and asleep to consciousness, conscious of being itself. We have to go to being like a cat, like a child, being there is attention. There's attention in the present. So self-remembering at a more entry level and in a very useful level that is like a practice, cultivating this being present to the three realms. Yeah, I try to make it very practical. Being present to the three realms, being attentive to the three realms. Just like in meditation, the three realms are the world, with the eyes open, the world, staying in the present, yeah, not checked out, the world, the thoughts, I'm aware of the thoughts, not being checked out with them, and aware of the feelings and the body, yeah, feelings, the body, one, the thoughts, two, the world, three. So this would be self-remembering, which we were encouraged to practice as much as possible, as often as possible, from the time you become conscious in the morning till the time when you go to sleep. And we're encouraged to have reminders. For instance, like, I don't know if you guys hear this alarm, but to use this alarm as a, hey, wake up. To remind myself to be aware, not to sleep my life, basically, from these traditions, the idea that if I am not engaging in this type of practice, I'm just asleep, so I'm dreaming, and then I'm suffering in vain, and it's not fun. So in these teachings that we need to first wake up. Many teachings talk about that, many traditions. So initially it's like a practice and requires effort. As we jump-start it for some time and we are interested and we meditated and we somehow consciousness wakes up to itself, and so it takes us some kind of conscious momentum. It doesn't need, you don't need to remember all the time or to make a lot of effort, because it's more like obvious. Somehow the mind is more quiet and it's more obvious that there is being here and I'm being. And yeah, so somehow initially it needs to be remembered and practiced, but then it becomes more of a conscious momentum. But then what's important is to process our also, so what's important is to process our suffering. So just this self-remembering in terms of observing what is here, I guess looking into suffering like this in depth, that will be like investigating our suffering, yeah? So in the fourth way, they were saying that you need two engines to wake up. One is self-remembering, which is what I mentioned, all of this witnessing and all of this inner exploration, observation. The second one is transformation of suffering. They said, yeah, without suffering, we are very comfortable. And so we need transformation of suffering. From one angle, this KI, so these killer inquiries, it's a effective way to transform our suffering, to process our suffering being our triggers, our deficiency story, our trauma, past, present, whatever. So now we need to do both, transform our suffering and remember ourselves. Because if we don't remember ourselves, like practice presence, let's say, we can't really take the heat of our suffering. We need to be pretty robust and conscious to meet our demons and our traumas, yeah? So this self-remembering and transformation of suffering, resting their awareness, yeah, presence stuff, as well as self-investigation, the pain body work, processing work. Yeah. It's pretty simple, actually.